Hello, everybody. My name is Christian, and I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. And today's episode, I wanted to title Parent Like a Pro, Lead Like a Boss. And it's all about mastering the entrepreneurial parent balance. And for me, this is something very personal because, as our listeners know, I have four kids. And for me, it's been a constant battle on spending quality time with my kids and still growing our business, especially since we brought on some employees. So for me, it's really, really important to do both. And I'm going to tell you the truth, being a present parent while growing a business isn't about balance. It's more about rhythm. I mean, some days you crushing sales, some days you are cleaning up while you have a pitch, and some days you have that unfiltered roadmap on what it takes as a CEO to run your business, and not just run your business as a CEO, also being a present parent. So for me, I have two things I want to promise you guys today. At the end of this episode, you will have three systems that help you drive in both worlds without guilt and without burnout. So, with that, let's get started. So, for me, as our listeners, I have four kids, and for me, four kids, it wasn't always easy, and for me, I'm getting better at it as we go. But for me, it's really important for me to grow my business, but it's always very important for me to be a present parent, and for me. It's important for me, as you guys know. My kids are adopted, and for me, that's something really, really important. And you know what? Some days there's a client just colliding with the teacher parent conference, and my wife and I, we always try to have her go to some of them. I go to some of them, or sometimes your kid called out for, or for being sick, or my youngest son was sick for 10 days, so it was really hard to take care of him at home, and then also to run a business. And as our listeners know, we had a guest here for the last 3 weeks which came in from India, and I want you to also to know that for me, this is still a work in progress, and I share with you guys what's working for me. And then also, I want to share with you some of the things I've learned, which hopefully help you get better in what you do. But the truth is, there's a cost to success, and sometimes you just miss stuff. And for me, the goal is to miss a lot less. So for me, the first thing is, as I started looking at this, a lot of people said to me, Christian, you need to find your balance between running your business and being a parent. And for me, the balance for me is really a wrong idol, because it implies that I have equal time and, for all of the things. And unfortunately, that didn't work for me. So I replaced balance with alignment. And for me, alignment it's a priority, and it changes with the seasons. So for me, that's was one of the things we learned. And then, how can you chase perfection without having burnout in either of those areas? So for me, that was really, really important. So for me, I have a three-part framework I follow, and actually I learned this from one of my mentors, and he calls it the entrepreneurial parent rhythm. He had some kids, and he was a very successful CEO. And for me, I am a big believer that success leaves clues, and I want to follow people which have done what I want to do. And in order for me to shorten the learning curve, I reached out to him and said, hey, how did it work for you? And not only was he a very successful entrepreneur, he was a CEO of one of the major companies overseas, and he lived here in the US. And so for me, he gave me the three things I will share with you. The first one is own your calendar. Don't let the calendar own you. So, what do I mean by that? You need to block time for both family and also for work. And both of them have non negotiables because there's certain time I want to spend with my wife and with my kids, and certain things, there's just stuff going on in my business where I need to have certain things blocked out. So, that's for me worked really, really well. Also, I try to batch different things together, deep work, phone calls, creative time, family time. So for me, I try to kind of bunch them together wherever I can. And then for me, the hardest thing of all of that was to set boundaries and teach others to respect them. As you guys know, we work with a lot of different companies from all over the world. So there is some cultural differences. So we always need to make sure that we set those boundaries and then they respect it. So for me, I hope you learn some of them. Our first thing is you need to own your calendar. Don't let your calendar own you. And then we have a pro tip for that in there. If your kids can find you on your calendar, neither can your dreams or your future self. So for me, if you're not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So it's as simple as that. So write down everything. For me, I write down um, meal time. As you guys know, for me, having family meal with my staff is really important. So we block that every day from 12 to 1. And then also when I set meetings, I set my meetings for about 40, 45 minutes. So I have 15 minutes to go from one meeting to kind of reset myself to go to the next meeting. So that worked really, really well. And if there's one thing I want you to own is your calendar. So the second thing I have for you is called define success together. So what do I mean by that? Ask your spouse, your significant other, or your kids, what does present look like to you? And for me, I had a learning curve there with having four kids. For them, it was all different. When they wanted to have me, how I wanted to show up for them and how they wanted me to show up for them was so different. So for me, each of my kids has a special time and there's also a special time slot I have for each of them. And then also for me, it's important that my family knows my why. Even the younger kids I want them to know that we're trying to build something. Hey, if we have a new company we're working with, or if we start a new process, or if we have a new systems, there's some days I have late nights and they know that the late nights for me is not that I don't want to come home, that they know this is something around the family and around the business. And then also for me, creating a family scoreboard and celebrate both small wins and big wins. So a small win could be a family dinner, and a big one is closing a deal at my job. So it's really important for them to know what I do. And if you ever been to my office, my kids are in and out here all the time, and they know exactly what I do because I share very honest with them. Hey, this is what I struggled with in business, or hey, this is what I struggled with my kids because I want to spend more time with my kids. And so for me, that's one of the points which we need to work on. So for me, number one is own your calendar. Number two is define success together because your spouse, significant other needs to know exactly what you do. And so are your kids. So I have a pro tip for you. If your family it knows your why, and that's for me, it's really, really important. They don't let your work become theirs or they're not to. So for me, it's really important. If your family is your why, okay, it's really simple. Don't let your work become their why. And so for me, that's really, really important because for me, it sets that I have certain goals for my family and certain goals for my business. And then the third thing I learned from my mentor, which was really, really important, and he always said, hey, build support system that scale with you. And for me, that was hard because I didn't know how this would work. And he kept saying, hey, delegate at home and in your business. And that was really hard for me because I started out as a single entrepreneur and as a hired staff, kind of letting some things go and let them run. Some stuff was really important. But it was also really difficult. And the same thing at home. So delegate at home and in your business. For me, still something I'm working on today. And that's probably the biggest impact or impact maker you have. And then for me, and actually I learned this from my oldest daughter, she always said leverage technology, shared grocery delivery, hey, automation tools, whatever there is, have technology be leveraged by your family. And even though I'm a chef by trade, I don't cook as much as I used to because we're doing a lot of takeout dinners, or we do quick dinners at home, or I make a ton of stuff here in the office and then I bring it home. So for me, really, really important, leverage technology. And then that was another one I kind of struggled with in the beginning, and that's building a routine that reduces decisions. So, especially mornings or evenings. So, for me, I find I do really, really well in the afternoon. So, for the mornings, I come in, I go through my email, I do certain things. And then in the afternoon, I have my creative time. And for me, it's one of those things I always felt like I did more or better in the afternoon, early evenings than I did in the mornings. Because for me, in the mornings, now I connect with my staff, I connect with my wife, and that system works really well for me. So that was point number three, build a support system that scales with you. And that was for me really, really important. And also, I have a little bit of a pro tip for you. And the pro tip is really simple. Freedom doesn't come from doing it all. It comes from doing what only you can do. And that's for me really, really important. And for me, as I started delegating and have my staff do some of that stuff, um, it kind of it kind of made things clear. And for me, I love marketing. I'm not a marketer. Since I hired my director of marketing, she's absolutely amazing, and we have really scaled. Also with communications. So for me, some days I just don't catch up in communications. So we hired a communications director, and she sends most of the emails. Obviously, we talk about what the emails are all about, but she does a really good job staying on top of them. So again, there's three things I encourage you to do. The first one is own your calendar. Don't let the calendar own you. And my pro tip for that is if your kids can't find you on your calendar, neither will your dreams. And so for me, that's really, really important. The second thing is that you need to do things together. So I call it define success together. And talk to your kids, talk to your spouse, your significant other, because I honestly believe if your family is your why, don't let your work become their why. And so for me, it's really, really important to do that. And finally, we have build support systems that scale with you. And that's probably the biggest thing I had to work on and learn. And my mentor was kind enough to share this with me. And that was really simple. It's around delegating, because my pro tip is freedom doesn't come from doing it all. It comes from doing what only you can do. And for me, that's one of the biggest things I've learned in the process. So hopefully that was helpful for you. So if you wouldn't mind, hey, please drop me a note. What resonated with you, and what are your 3 or 5 things you do? So I'm curious to know, what are some of your takeaways? What are some of your work alongs or work grids? What do you have? For me, if you have something really, really good, we want to highlight it, and then I will also adapt it. And also, if you feel like there's somebody in your close friendship, or if there's somebody in your work who can benefit from this information, please let them know. Ship them a copy of this podcast. So if this hits home to you, make sure you share this entrepreneurial parent, or share it with an entrepreneurial parent you admire. And if you are ready to lead your business, and when you're ready to lead your life with intention, check out more of our resources. Check out more of christianjfisher.com. We have some really good tools to help you both and win at both tables in your business and your family. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. Thanks for hearing me out. And I wanted to share this with me because that's something I've been struggling with and I'm constantly working on. And for me, I promised you guys that I will bring stuff to you on the things I have learned or the things I'm working on. Because for me, it's important to be transparent with you. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. Hopefully you found value in today's episode. And if you don't mind, shoot us a like. We appreciate that. Also give us some feedback because we read every single one of them. With that, I want to say thank you and we see you at the next episode. Thanks, everybody.